Everyone, Shazia. I hope you guys are doing good, and I hope and pray that things will get back to normal very soon, and we will start living our lives the way we used to before. Um, there's the good news is there are like some cities which were open, and you know people are going back to work. However, social distancing will still continue. I'm just hoping, this COVID 19 should, go away very soon, and so that we can start living a normal life and value everything that we had in 2019. So today I am with you guys. As I promised on my in my last video, that I will talk about how to find a place on rent in Canada, and what are the different options that you'll have, and how much will it cost, and where will you find it. These are the things that I'm going to talk about. So if you're just coming to Canada and you don't know anyone here, the first option you'll think about is a hotel room where you can stay for a few weeks and then move out. But I can tell you, Airbnbs are like a lot cheaper than a hotel room. The cheapest hotel room will be around like $90 before tax, and then it might go a little up once the tax is added. However, if you go for an Airbnb, it will be a little cheaper. So you'll easily get something for like 1,200 or like $1,000 for a month, and you don't have to give like any pay stubs, because here when you take any place for rent, you have to give your documents. Like, you have, some people will ask for your credit reports too, but mostly they'll ask for your ID, they'll ask for your job offer letter, and also pay slips there to show that you can actually pay the rent. These are the requirements, the standard requirements when you're look document wise, when you're renting a place. At the same time, they'll also ask for first and last month rent. If you're renting something which is like $1,000 a month, then you have to give first and last will be $2,000, and then sometimes also a deposit which will be refunded when you're leaving. If you haven't damaged anything in the property, and they'll give you the money back to you. So those are the requirements, right? When you land here, when you're new, obviously you'll not have a job offer letter in most scenarios. You'll not have pay slips. Obviously you're here, you just landed. So Airbnb will be a good option for a month or so, and then you can when you are in Airbnb, you can start looking for places. If you find Airbnb a little expensive, the cheapest option that you can go for is a shared room. Let me show you how much a shared room will cost. So this is something like, a shared room, which will cost you around 350 to 400, sometimes even $500, depending on the location and what kind of room that you get. If you are also sharing a bed, it's more cheaper. You'll get that in $325 sometimes. But if they are giving you separate beds in the same room, you're sharing the room but you're not sharing the bed, it will be around $300 or $400, right? Here they'll not ask you for a lot of documents. They'll usually, if you see in this ad, they're not asking for anything as such, right? because these are the shared accommodations, and it is usually for students or people who are new here, people who are not earning a lot and stuff like that. So they'll just ask for your ID, they'll not ask for your pay slip or whatever. They'll ask for first and last month, but do remember, when you're talking to anyone to rent a place, you always need to ask if the price is negotiable, like you if you can, if they can reduce the price a bit. You need to bargain, because I have seen this in the market, that because I am looking for a place, right? And when I call people or when I text, I see this something similar in the same location is a lot cheaper, like there's $100 difference, and that's when you need to ask, will you be able to reduce the price? Is this, are you flexible reducing the price and stuff like that. For the cheapest option is shared rooms. Then you have private rooms. That means you will have your own room, but you will not have a private kitchen or a living area, or sometimes even washroom. You will share washroom, kitchen area and the living room with other tenants, and you will only have a private room, which will cost you anything from, like, around 500 to 750. 650 is a decent price for a private room, depending on the location. Again, if you see, for a private room, they'll ask for first and last month require upfront, right? In most of the cases, they'll ask you for the first and the last month. And this is in, like, a private room. They might even ask you for your offer letter, and you also need to show your ID. So something like this, a room like this, will cost you around 650. Here it says 490. Let's see if they're asking you to share it with someone. They are not asking it. Single girl or female only, working or student, which is good. They are not this is a very good price for a private room. 490 is good. And it's not a basement. Again, if you get a room in basement, it will be cheaper. If you get something on the ground level or level 1, it will be a little expensive, because basements are dark, underground, not so very ventilated, hence it's a little cheaper. If you have an option to choose between basement on a level 1 or ground, always go for ground or level 1, because I don't like basements. It's cold and there's no sunlight, the ventilation isn't there. You feel homesick there. You will feel like you want to go back home, kind of, right? So that's shared room is the cheapest. Second is a private room. Then you can go for a basement, like an basement for all by yourself, right? So this is a basement. It says basement for rent, single occupancy. That means in the whole basement it's only you. Basements are not always very big. This is the basement. If you see, it's just one big, like, a room, which is looking big here, but it's not that big, I'm telling you. You'll have laundry, and then if you see, there's no kitchen, and nothing in the picture though, but they might give you. You need to look for whether it is furnished. It says furnished here, yes. And what kind of appliances you have. You need to always look for a refrigerator and laundry unit and furnished, especially if you're new here. You don't want to check into a place where there's no furniture. At least you'll need a bed with mattress, um, cooktop and cooking top, and then you have to have a refrigerator. It's okay if you don't have a TV and all, you can manage, but without a bed it's very difficult. Don't go for it. So here the basement says 600. I was quite surprised to see this 600, and I knew there'll be a something that is the reason that the price is low. It says only one individual can stay in the basement. It is furnished, however, no kitchen, microwave, fridge, and induction available on request, but there's no kitchen, right? So difficult if you cook and you don't order food from outside. It is not you know a great idea to go for something which does not have a kitchen in it. If you ask me, basements like individual basement, one bedroom, or just a studio will not have a separate bedroom or whatever. It will be a big hall. It's gonna be like the open concept. You will have the kitchen in the same hall. You'll have the your microwave, the fridge, and then you'll have a bed there. You will have some seating arrangement in one hall. There'll be everything. That's the bachelorette or the studio, and it's cheaper. It will be around 900 to $1,000. And sometimes if you're lucky, you might get like a good basement with like one bedroom in like around $1,100. And if you're coming with someone like you are coming with your spouse or whatever, you can go for a basement where there's one bedroom and like a kitchen, and you have the laundry. And always look for furnished basements. And then once you have like if you have like a good job and you can afford something little more than a basement, then I would suggest, if you see there's the basement here which is $1,200 dollars per month, and always look for if it is the ultimate price. Sometimes they'll say 30% of utility is separate. Don't go for it. Always look for something which is upfront price, that this is the um, rent every month, because utility can be anything from, depends on the utilization of the the services, like electricity, hydro, water, and all. Don't go for something which does not include everything. Most of the houses here gives you wi-fi, like in the rent included. They'll give you 5G wi-fi, wireless connection, wi-fi for free. It should be included in your monthly rent. um Other than basements, you can look for house like one bedroom apartment. And it will cost you anything between like 1,200 to 1,600 per month. Again, depends whether it's furnished, the location. When you're going for an apartment, they'll ask for more and more documents. That's when they might ask you to give them the credit report, your pay slips, 3 months pay slips, your offer letter. They'll also ask for references from your previous landlord, like where you stayed, did you pay your rent on time, and stuff like that. So the higher price that you go, like if you're looking for something fancy, bigger and a house, then you have more formalities, more documents, and proof of income that they'll ask for. So yeah, see, if you can see, a one bedroom apartment for rent will be around like 1,150. That's where it starts, but like it can go a lot up. Here, the if you actually look at, I have said one bedroom apartment. I have put in a location. I can tell like how further, like if I'm more flexible to move to Mississauga or the London or Toronto area, or I want to look within the 17 kilometers radius, so that if you're working at a particular location, you would prefer to have accommodation somewhere near. You can subcategorize long term or short term, like then you have filters in the sorting. Filters, what did I put in here is like I don't want anything above 1200, so I did put in 1200. But if you are looking for like um a house, right, an independent house, not a basement, your budget will go up for sure. It will cost you a little more than the basement, and it's gonna be more comfortable, and you would love staying like in a house than in a basement. So I'm trying to see if I can show you. See, even if I put 2000, still there's no house in that range. You still see only basements. This is a house. This is like a 2 bedroom house, I guess. But then it's again, they are only giving the rooms in the basement for rent. It's not that you'll not have uh, room, or would we say apartments on rent. You have like a lot of apartments on rent. It's just that your budget need to be um, a lot more than what I have put in here. um, so that's the thing. I'm gonna remove this 2000, and you'll see that you will have more options now. If there's no max limit there, you will see more options. Or did I change the location? Yeah, distance is only 13 kilometers, right? Because of that, it's not showing any basements, any apartments as such. If you make it like a lot, um, cover a lot of area around that place, then you see 65. So see, 2 rooms available, or like room available for rent, and 2 bedroom big room for rent, a 2 room house. These are the places. There's like a lot more options. My internet is not working fine today. It's slow, or this website is slow. I don't know what's not working, but yeah. So I just want to show you one house which has like, you know, yeah, this is a house, 2200, and it's a house. See, you have like a very beautiful house, but you'll end up paying 2200 every month, which is pretty expensive if you're new here and you're not making a lot of money. Not a very smart move then, because you would want to save up money and invest it in a smarter way. So this is how the house looks. The more budget you have, the more flexible and comfortable options you'll have. Renting 2 bedroom two full washrooms townhome, available from 1st June with 1 parking. See, this is what I wanted to show you. Rent is 2200 plus utility. This utility can be anything depending on the utilization of electricity, hydro, like the water and stuff. It can go up to 200, 300, and also depends on how many people are living in there, right? If there are like 6 7 people in one house, obviously the utilization will be very high. So always go for a specific rent amount which says, okay, this is how much you will end up paying. So they'll have conditions again, like, some house owners will tell you that you cannot cook. Some house owners will tell you that you cannot eat non-veg only, they'll prefer vegetarians. Some houses will tell you that you cannot smoke. Most of them won't let you smoke inside. You can go out and smoke, and some would say like not even outside. So you need to get all those things cleared before you actually pay the rent and move in, because you don't want to have any surprises later on once you decide, or like, once you have given your money. So this is how the housing, like, is in Canada. And this location that I showed you is in Brampton, around Mississauga and all. It's the pretty much same price. If you ask me, which area do I think it's a little cheaper, there's this place, studios near Toronto, GTA, um, which will be very small houses, like very small studios. um, it's pretty much the same price. Things which are new near to the beach will be a little cheaper, because people go there only for vacations, and people come towards Brampton, Mississauga, this side to settle down, start working, because you will be most probably working in Mississauga, GTA, or North York, or in Brampton. So you would prefer staying in those locations only when you are working there, right? So yeah, um, in simple words, sharing will cost you around 350 to $500 for a shared room. For a private room, it can cost you anything from $450 to 650 or 750. Individual basement will be anything from 6 700 if there's no kitchen, and like 1000 or 1200 if there's a kitchen. And if you go for studios basements, again it's around 950 or so, where there's no bedroom. It's going to be one hall which will have everything on the open concept. If you go for an independent house, not a basement, it will cost you above 1600 and can go up to 3000. And like more bedrooms you have, more like the price will be more higher or expensive, right? So these are the options. Documents you will need is the ID proof, your pay income proof. Sometimes they'll ask you for the credit check, they'll even ask you for the references. People who are coming here, Airbnb is the best option when you land. And then once you are in the Airbnb, you should start looking for places on Kijiji and then book it. Go see the place and then give the deposit. My advice will be, when you are new, don't sign up a agreement for a for a year or so. Always make sure that you go for short term initially, because you will not know where you'll be working, or even if you find a job right after coming, you might not continue with the same job forever, right? So don't sign in any agreements, go for short terms. And once you decide, like, this is the thing, like this is the work you'll be doing, this is where you'll be working, and this is the location, that's when you can sign an agreement. And you'll also have all the required documents that one would ask for a long-term agreement, rental place, right? So I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys to plan it better. I made a mistake. I came here without arranging my accommodation. I stayed with someone and then I had to move out, and then I stayed in one hotel for a night. It was very expensive. I came into another hotel. In this, there's a lot which happened, like not in the hotel, during this, like moving out from that place and finding another hotel and all. a lot happened, I can tell you. Though this is a very strange place, like, you'll not know anyone, you'll have only strangers around you. You will see people who are like completely stranger. They strangers, they'll still be very helpful. You will find very helpful people around. I can tell you, I felt like the Punjabis here in Brampton, you will see a lot of Punjabis from Ludhiana and all. They have been very helpful, kind, and very, supportive in my journey till now. Though I had, like, no friends here, I came here, I met people, I made friends, and they are so welcoming, warm, and like helpful, kind people. They'll try and do everything possible to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel home, though they don't know you a lot, right? So, I am gonna be thankful to them all my life for, supporting me when I was. In a bad situation. So that's about it for today. Um, Please like and subscribe to my channel, and continue watching my videos, and tell me what kind of videos that you would like to watch. I'll try and make those kind of videos. Thank you very much. Good night.